Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you never imagined they could destroy your life? I did. My name is Rose. I'm 72 years old, a widow, a mother, and until a few weeks ago, I believed my son would always protect me. For 43 years, I lived in the same little white house on Maple Street. It wasn't the biggest house, it wasn't the most beautiful, but to me, it was priceless. Every wall held a memory. Every window reminded me of my late husband. Every creaking floorboard carried the sound of my son's tiny footsteps when he was just a little boy. That house wasn't just where I lived. It was where I loved. It was where I laughed. It was where I cried. And after my husband passed away, it became the last place where I still felt close to him. Every morning, I'd step outside with a cup of coffee and water the roses he planted for me on our 25th wedding anniversary. Those roses were more than flowers. They were a promise that love could survive even after goodbye. Then, one ordinary Tuesday morning, everything changed. I was standing in the garden, watering those same roses, when my vision suddenly blurred. The watering can slipped from my hand, my knees buckled, and before I could even call for help, everything went black. When I opened my eyes, bright hospital lights filled the room. Machines beeped beside me. A nurse smiled gently. A doctor stepped closer. "Mrs. Rose, you had a minor stroke. The good news is you're going to recover, but you'll need to stay here for a few weeks." I nodded, trying to stay calm, but one thought wouldn't leave my mind. My house. Who would take care of it? Just then, my son Daniel walked into the room. He looked worried. His eyes were red. He rushed over, held my hand, and smiled. "Mom, don't worry about anything. I'll take care of the house. You just focus on getting better." Hearing those words filled my heart with peace. Because I trusted him, I had spent my entire life putting him first. After his father died, I worked double shifts to keep food on the table. I skipped vacations so he could go to college. I sold my jewelry to help him start his first business. Every sacrifice I made because I loved my son. And now I believed he was returning that love. For the next 3 weeks, Daniel visited me almost every single day. He brought fresh flowers. He sat beside my bed. He joked with the nurses. He even held my hand before leaving each evening. One nurse smiled at me and said, "Mrs. Rose, you raised a wonderful young man." I smiled back, proud, grateful, completely unaware that while I was lying in that hospital bed, trusting my only child with everything I owned, he wasn't protecting my home. He was meeting with real estate agents, signing paperwork, accepting an offer, and selling the only place where my husband's memory still lived. The cruelest part, I wouldn't discover the truth until the day I finally came home. The morning I was finally discharged. I couldn't stop smiling. I was going home. Daniel carried my suitcase to the car. He smiled, but something felt different. He barely spoke. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly. His knuckles had turned white. I looked at him and asked, "Is everything okay, sweetheart?" He forced a smile. "Yeah, Mom, I'm just tired." I believed him again. As we turned onto Maple Street, my heart began to race. A large moving truck was parked in front of my house. Workers were carrying furniture inside. My flower pots were gone. The wind chime my husband had made by hand had disappeared. Even his old rocking chair was nowhere to be seen. "Daniel," I whispered, "what is happening?" He didn't answer, not a single word. When the car stopped, I slowly stepped out. My legs were still weak from the stroke, but somehow I found the strength to walk toward my front door. Then the door opened. A young couple stepped outside. The woman smiled kindly. "Oh, you must be Rose." I nodded. "Yes, this is my home." Her smile faded. "I'm so sorry, but we bought this house last week." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. No, there must be some mistake. She looked at Daniel, then back at me. Your son handled everything. He said all the paperwork was complete. I turned around. Daniel couldn't even look me in the eyes. His head dropped. I'm sorry, Mom, he whispered. I was drowning in debt. Credit cards, business loans, everything fell apart. I didn't know what else to do. My voice trembled. So, you sold the home your father built with his own hands? The home where I buried every memory of our life together? You didn't even ask me. Tears rolled down my face. I trusted you more than anyone in this.